The theme of my research is development of structure of the user motivational intentions database of the web community for supply and demand of educational services and evaluation of its information content quality. The aim of this research is to develop the structure of the user's motivational intentions database of the web community for supply and demand of educational services and evaluation the quality of its informational content. This makes it possible to effectively communicate and satisfaction the needs of users who are looking for a necessary training course or offer their services in acquiring the necessary knowledge, skills, and abilities. Specialized web community is a convenient and effective tool for attracting users with common interests and needs, including educational ones. The challenges of the modern world, such as COVID-19 and Russia's full-scale invasions of Ukraine, have forced a significant part of society educational activities to move into the virtual space. Public educational institutions of all accreditation levels from the main offer of educational services. However, these educational institutions cannot provide the acquisition of specific skills at a certain point in time, as their process is clearly set up, calculated, and cannot be changed at any time during the school year, or not can be adapted to the specific needs of its students. An analysis of Internet user search queries on Trends Google shows that along with this item educational services, the item training courses has become very popular. In particular, the global average indicator of these search queries for 2023 also shows a significant excess of interest among users of the virtual space in obtaining additional knowledge and skills. That is why specialized virtual communities have gained popularity in the educational services market, where participants can offer their services in the field of education or find the right teacher to help them acquire the knowledge, skills, and abilities they need now. Such cooperation is beneficial for both members of virtual community. In particular, there is a need to coordinate this cooperation, taking into account the communication, physiological factors, and capabilities of both parties to communication through the social environment of the Internet. This determines the relevance of this article. The process of forming a user's motivational intentions database is based on comparing the elements of a text post or announcement in the web community for supply and demand for educational services with the element of a set of keywords for each of its thematic sections. A description of the structure of the user's motivational intentions database of the web community for supply and demand of educational services is presented in Figure 3. The motivational intentions relation contains data of the user's motivational intentions of the web community for demand and supply for educational services that correspond to the keywords of EduSection attribute for a certain semantic section, the EduSection code attribute. The indicator MI relation includes things of the motivational intentions of users of the web community for demand and supply of educational services based on their needs. As a result, the components of motivational intentions include the attribute students need, the needs of the users who need educational services, and the attribute teachers needs, the needs of the users who offer educational services. These attributes contain information about the name of the need. The keywords relation contains data on possible forms of lexical and semantic one or more keywords designations that characterize the user's needs of the web-based community for supply and demand of educational services in relation to a particular thematic section. For example, the user's information needs of the web community for supply and demand of educational services is the name of this need. Obtain information about training courses, the need to share experience, etc. The differentiation attribute shows the possibility of using a specific value of the linguistic unique attribute to replace the motivational intentions of users of the web community of demand and supply of educational services. Depending on the possibility of differentiation, it takes values in the range from 0 to 1. For example, for motivational intentions that denote an information need, the lexical and semantic designation of this need are the names of a course or a specific teacher. The weight factor attribute shows the importance factor of the motivational intentions defined in the information content of a particular section of the web community. The edu section relation contains data on language constructions that indirectly indicate motivational intentions for a specific section of the web community for supply and demand of educational services. That is, they do not name the section but point to it. The connection between the motivational intention caused by a specific need of the users of the web community is made through keywords that refer to a particular section of it. It is necessary to evaluate the keyword's importance in the post for effectively inform the user of the web community for supply and demand of educational services. A statistical indicator for text analysis and information retrieval was used to assess the importance of the identified keywords in user posts. The keyword importance of a post in a particular section of the web community for supply and demand of educational services is proportional to the number of occurrences of the word in the post and inversely proportional to the frequency of the word of their thematic post in the section of this community. The indicator evaluates the importance of the keywords within the selected semantic post. The user reduces the weight of commonly used words. Keywords with a high frequency of occurrence within the post and a low frequency of occurrence in the topical post within the community section will receive a high weight. The calculation of the keywords important in the user's post of the web community for supply and demand of educational services is presented in Table 1. The content of the web community for supply and demand of educational services is an information product. Therefore, the assess its quality. We used the subcharacteristic of software quality according to ISO 25010 standards. The analysis of metrics that correspond to the subcharacteristic of software quality according to the ISO 25010 standard shows that the following subcharacteristics are suitable for evaluating the quality of information content of the web community for supply and demand of educational services as functional suitability, accuracy, operability, helpfulness. Subcharacteristic accuracy is the degree to which a software product provides correct or specified results. The quality indicator is defined as follows. Thus, the functional suitability accuracy quality indicator shows the level of presence of inaccurate wording of keywords or the absence of keywords that express in the motivational intention of the use semantic section of the web community in information content of the database. Helpfulness is a measure of the user's availability of help. According to the availability of help, helpfulness is defined as follows. Thus, quality indicator of operability helpfulness shows the share of useful comments for users that contains motivational intention in relation to the ease motivational intention of the use semantic section of the web community. The monitoring of information content quality of the user's motivational intentions database of the web community for supply and demand of educational services was carried out on the basis of the choice of quality indicator of informational content relevant web resource Bookie. The monitoring of the quality indicators of the Bookie web resource information content was carried out according to the following indicators: functional suitability, accuracy, operability, helpfulness. To analyze the dynamic of the quality indicators of informational content was considered the value of the indicator to be optimal if it belonged to the interval 0.71 and acceptable if it belongs to the interval 0.4-0.7. The indicator of the quality of informational content on the example of the Bookie web resource are shown in Figure 4. Thus, as can be seen from Figure 4, the functional suitability accuracy indicator has acquired the optimal value, while the indicator of usability by informational content takes value from the interval of acceptable quality indicator. This is due to the particularity of the functioning of this specialized web community for supply and demand of educational services, as well as the extent of competition of such web resources in the virtual space. The results of the evaluation of the quality indicators of the information content shows the effectiveness of the existing information content within the framework of the functioning of the specialized web community. As a result of the study, this paper proposed structure user motivational intentions database of the web community for demand and supply of educational services, procedure for evaluation of the keywords importance in the post of the user of the web community for demand and supply of educational services, procedure for evaluating the quality indicator for informational content of the user's motivational intention database of the web community for supply and demand of educational services according to ISO 25010. The analysis of metrics that relate to the characteristic subcharacteristic of software quality according to ISO 25010 shows that the following characteristic subcharacteristic are suitable for evaluating the quality of informational content of the web community for supply and demand as functional suitability and operability. The monitoring of the relevant indicators of the quality of informational content was carried out by analyzing the content of the specialized web community for supply and demand as Bookie. The obtained results of the study can be used for effectiveness moderation of specialized web communities and effective communication of its participants.